Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with Jason Faglier ahead of his main event fight against Devante Swell. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And am I correct in saying this fight is for the flyweight championship,
Bantamweight.
bantamweight?
Yep.
And how has that affected your preparation for it being the title fight?
Doesn't change anything. My training is tough and hard for whether we're planning a three round fight, 5 round fight, regular fight, title fight. It doesn't matter. We train hard for no matter what it is.
And then obviously with Devante, you guys have been matched up a few times to fight each other. Was this just a fight that was just made to happen?
You know, we were supposed to fight last April, I think it was. And actually the fight got offered to me in November originally. And I was fresh off of a knee surgery. So I told him I could take it, but I wasn't cleared until a few months after, and then I needed like a month or two to train. So we ended up booking it for April. And then I think 4 weeks out of that fight, I think I broke my foot. So it didn't happen, got rescheduled for November. And then, tragedy struck again 3 weeks before the fight. I got a orbital bone fracture and, took us out again. But it got rescheduled again for this 25th of January, and it doesn't look like nothing's going to get in the way of this one. He
And
don't
did
get
it
out of
see,
this whooping again.
and did it feel like obviously having been booked all these times, you're obviously studying him to be able to get the game plan. Do you feel like this is going to be the most amount you're going to be prepared to fight someone?
I feel like that every fight. Every fight, the training camp gets better. It gets harder. You achieve more each fight camp.
Yeah.
So, every fight that I have, I feel like I'm better than the last fight.
And am I correct in saying you train out of Faglier mixed martial arts?
Yes, Faglier MMA. That's me.
And how has that been?
No, it's great, man. That's my own gym. So,
Yeah.
I do a blend of coaching as well as training. I've got other coaches in the area. My dad's one of my main coaches. My brother's one of my coaches, and then and then also all the guys that I have coached. I listen to all their input too. If they see something, that they think can add to my game and they make a correction when I'm training, I listen to them too. I preach to all my guys to be coachable from everyone. And that's what I strive to be too. So I really treat everyone I train with as coaches.
And how is it being able to coach as well as train? Like, how do you get that balance? Because obviously, with the coaching, you are being able to have to dive deep into the techniques. Do you feel like that is able to help you when you are doing them in the cage?
Yeah, absolutely. It does. A long time ago is when I started coaching originally. And you don't realize how much detail there is in things until you start getting asked questions. And then, as a fighter will ask you, "Hey, coach, how does this work? How did you make this happen?" And then if you don't know right off the top of your head, then you got to think, all right, well, what am I doing right? What little maneuvers am I doing different than them? And it makes you really break down the technique step by step and really solidify your technique. So coaching in that aspect makes you better as a fighter, I think.
And what brought you into coaching? Was it just speaking to other fighters and being able to help them, and then you got a feel with it, so you moved into that aspect? Or what was it that got you into the coaching aspect?
Well, so my dad opened up the gym a long time ago, and he coached me while I was training growing up. And then as I started getting older, he started having me help assist him teaching kids classes. And I kind of just got used to the coaching role there, and then I transitioned to being the coach of the kids classes. And then as he kind of transitioned out of the gym as much, I started, coaching adults and other competitors, and it just kind of snowballed. And honestly, it's very, very rewarding. I love being a coach. I love being a fighter. Um, but it's different being a coach and helping
Yeah.
people get better and watching them come to the realization that they can chase their dreams and they're good enough. And it's a very rewarding experience.
And then obviously with fighting, it is just a paycheck once you do have a fight. Is the coaching aspect, is that how you supplement the fighting?
I'm sorry, what was that?
So is obviously with a fighting, you get a paycheck once you do enter the cage. Is the coaching, is that how you help maintain the being able to train and take these fights? Or do you have anything else that you do apart from coaching?
Oh, I have a full-time job too. Yeah, I get up and I go to work in the morning. I work, get off of after my 8.5 hour shift and go home. I spend like an hour at home, hour and a half sometimes, and then I head to the gym and, start my training and coaching.
And do you feel like that showed how dedicated you are just to the sport as you're having that full-time job, you're then going out and not only are you training for just yourself to improve, but you're also willing to give back to the community and help the others.
Absolutely, man. Training and fighting and martial arts in general is my passion. So I love it. I'd never want to give it up, and I absolutely love sharing it with other people.
And obviously you are fighting Devante. How do you feel like this fight is going to go?
Feel like I'm going to finish him.
Do, do you feel like this just going to stay on the feet? You're just going to slug it out and get the knockout, or you're going to try and mix it in the wrestling?
We'll see how it goes. I got a game plan that I'm going to stick with. We may do a little bit of everything. You never know. I'm not going to give away too much,
Yeah.
but definitely don't think the judges are going to be needed.
Exactly. And obviously, throughout your career, you have been able to mix it in with a few weight classes. You've done featherweight, you're doing bantamweight. Do you feel like bantamweight is the weight class you are wanting to stay in?
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually never fought featherweight. I fought flyweight and bantamweight. So I've
Oh,
been to
okay.
125, and I fought most of all my fights at 135. But yeah, I'm not big enough to go to 45, and it's not really feasible to try to go to 25 anymore. So 35 is where it's at. 135 is going to be the weight class for the long haul.
And obviously, it is 2025. We are only in January. What are you looking for this year? How many fights are you looking for?
As many as I can get. I used to fight a ton. I had 4 or 5 fights a year. And then COVID happened, first of all, shut everything down. And then after that, I got an injury that took me out for a while. And then I had fights fall through, and then I got an injury again. So it kind of just snowballed into this long layoff, and which wasn't terrible because I really got to focus on coaching and training other fighters, and I was able to really help other guys progress their careers in that time. But yeah, just one thing after another kept getting in the way. But hopefully, all that's behind me, and we can hit 2025 rolling and keep them coming.
And are you open for the challenge, or is there anyone out there that you are wanting to face off against?
There's no one that I'm not willing to face off against. I'll take anybody in the weight class.
Exactly. And you are on a two-fight winning streak. Your last fight was a first round submission victory. How good did that feel to get that victory?
It felt great, but it was too short. I, I trained all that time for a good, long, hard fight, and not taking anything against away from my opponent. He was a good, top quality guy, but it ended fast, and hopefully this one don't end quite as fast. Hopefully, I'll be able to drag this one into some deeper waters.
So obviously with fights, us as fans, we like the quick finishes. We like to see that. But as a fighter, do you like to spend more time in the octagon to just get that feel and be able to showcase your full arsenal of tricks?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's cool to get the quick finish, early finish. But yeah, you train a lot for fights, and at the end of the day, I don't think any real fighter wants to go in and out in 30 seconds or 40 seconds, or like you want to get in there and you want to be tested. You want to get put to the flame and show everybody what you're made of. Show yourself what you're made of. That's really what it's about. I put all this work in to prepare myself for battle, and I want to be tested. I want to be tested against somebody that's going to come in there and bring the heat and show me how far I'm willing to go. And I'm definitely going to be willing to go farther than he is, or any opponent that steps in that cage with me. I won't be broken. So that's mainly what it is. I love to fight. I love the competitive nature of it, and like to get tested.
Exactly. And what do you feel like has been the biggest test so far of your career?
Biggest test as biggest fight. I don't know. I can't really put a finger on it. They've all had equally ways in different parts of my career. They've equally weighed out. Biggest thing is just staying healthy. You train so hard that, I mean, anybody will tell you all your injuries come from your fight camps. I've been injured in training sessions way more than I've ever been injured in a fight. So it's just, if you can train right and keep the right people around you and keep your body safe and stay away from being injured, then, you're doing something good.
And like you said, you do have your family involved in your team, your brother as well as your dad. How do you feel like they're able to put that relationship aside and be actually coaching? If you're doing something wrong, they're not afraid to tell you, hurt your feelings. They will just say, look, you're doing this, stop it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If anything, it's a benefit. They want me to be perfect in execution, and they know that no matter what they say, we're family at the end of the day. I'm not going to get mad and run
Yeah,
away and never see them again. So, no matter if they hurt my feelings or not, I'm going to see them at the end of the day, and I'm going to see them the next day, and, we're going to show up again together, at the gym. So it's just, they, if anything, it's a blessing to have family in your corner because they're going to go the extra mile to make sure you're really prepared, and they're going to put themselves out there to help you get where you want to go. So I think it's very beneficial.
and do you feel like having that mutual interest, all being invested in the sport, has it even just instead of brought you closer together?
Oh yeah, yeah, we're super tight, and everything that we love to do is active. We like to run, swim, bike, all kind of stuff. Everything we like to do is active, and this is just one of them things that we come together. We see each other so much more than the average family does because we're always at the gym, and it has 100% brought us closer as fathers, sons, brothers, all that.
And what was it that actually got you into the sport in the first place?
So my dad used to fight, so I'd watch him train, and he opened up a karate school when I was real young, and so I started training with that. And we used to watch UFC and Pride fights, on TV, and I just grew up watching it and seeing it in my life, and I just wanted to do it.
Well, Anna, you're being able to showcase your skills. You have got a good resume. Do you feel like you are getting close to a potential big organization giving you that call up?
I'd like to think so. Yeah, I think I'm 8-3 now as a
Yeah,
pro. I was 13-1 as an amateur. This will make me 9-3. So yeah, I think I'll be getting there close soon. I think.
exactly. You'd be 9-3, free fight win streak. If you get a finish, two finishes in a row, you have got a very impressive resume. How would you describe yourself as a fighter? Like, what's your fighting style?
I'm pretty well rounded. I enjoy striking the most. I like being on the feet, and I got a karate background, so I like to strike the most. But I'm good at jujitsu. I'm good at wrestling. I'll fight wherever the fight goes. So I don't think I lack in any area in particular. But if I had to pinpoint what my favorite thing is, it'd definitely be striking on the feet.
Exactly. And I know you'll be able to put on that show, showcase your arsenal, get that victory, get that hand raised, and get that title around your waist. Is there anything you're wanting to add into this or anyone you're wanting to shout out?
No, I just appreciate all my friends and family supporting me. All the people affiliated and sponsors and training partners, everybody. You don't fighting is a sport where you get in there and you do it by yourself, but you can't get there by yourself. You can't train by yourself. You got to have training partners. You can't um you know you got to be invested in. You got to
Yeah,
have sponsors. You got to have family that supports you. You got to have friends that support you. You got to have training partners that are willing to put their bodies on the line and let you spar with them. And it's just it's a very team oriented sport, even though you go in there by yourself. So you can't get there by yourself. And I love everybody that's a part of the journey.
exactly. Even though it seems like a solo sport, it isn't really. It's all about the preparation. It's all about having that team with you, getting that plan built in the background.
That's right.
Well, make sure you tune in. It's going to be a great fight, and thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate you.